Hello, you're welcome and thank you for watching. I'm Tino. So in this video, I'm going to discuss and highlight my experiences in Russia. My first few days here, how I got to come here, Russian traditions, the Russian food, Russian weather, racism, how it is to live amongst the Russians, and a few other things, like maybe my most hilarious encounter here. And yeah, just generally my experiences. I'm hoping this video will not be too long, and if it happens to be long, it'll be worth it. Well, this is just to entertain somebody, inform or educate somebody, and maybe have somebody relate, and maybe somebody wants to come here and they could find this helpful, and maybe to just clear out some misconceptions or misunderstanding on Russia. So let me start with a brief background story on how I ended up here. So by the time I finished my A levels, and that's the highest stage in Zimbabwean high schools, I was determined to leave Zimbabwe. I just wanted out. All my friends at that time would always hear me saying, I'm going to leave Zimbabwe and I'm going to a faraway country like maybe Uruguay. They'll be like, Tino, who goes to Uruguay? Do you even know where that is? And I'll be like, guys, this is just to illustrate how much I want to be so far away where nobody can follow me. Like, I just wanted to be far away and I was tired of the heat. Like, you guys know summer in Africa, like it gets super hot. And I was just like, you know what? I need some cold weather for now. So yeah, I know it sounds like a petty reason, but heat and dust, I don't like those two things. And I'm glad I took a break from them. Also, I was going through that adolescent stage where you just want out of your parents' house. I just wanted my space. I was just like, I need my space. So I'm going to go far away where nobody can follow me. So I was really determined to leave Africa, to just leave Zimbabwe and be somewhere far away. And well, down the years, I can say I went back into that house. That's the whole point, yeah. Like when you leave, then you want back, and yeah, it's been that kind of journey, but it's all right. So because I really wanted to be out of Zimbabwe, yeah, I didn't even want to apply to Zimbabwe universities, But my parents were just like, Tino, just apply, just in case your applications overseas don't really give. So I applied just for applying. To me, it was applying for fun. And because I was convinced I wouldn't study in Zimbabwe, yeah. And I didn't even want to study in Zimbabwe. So I just applied because my parents said so. I was applying for fun and I was sure I would get places in Zimbabwe and just turn them down from a faraway land. Was I not caught unawares, guys, when the responses started coming in? So I applied for law at the University of Zimbabwe and the Midland State University. And did they not decline me? So you're gonna have to put up with me. Like sometimes I find myself forgetting some English words, yeah, but I'm gonna try my best not to. So I was rejected in my own country, guys. The University of Zimbabwe told me, we could give you social work, not law. Midland State University was giving me, was it political science? I've kind of forgotten. It got to me, guys. It got to me. And mind you, I had applied for fun. But here I was now. I was taking offense. I was hurt, guys. I was really hurt. And did I not start emailing them back? Like, what do you mean I didn't get a place? And the other thing that was making things worse is my friends had also told me that they had cousins who had maybe 12 points who were getting places. And I was just like, what do you mean these people with 12 points are getting places for law and I can't? And I had passed, yeah. I had like A, B, B. So that's why I was more convinced that I would get places wherever I applied. But In Zimbabwe, in almost everywhere, you need connections. It doesn't matter how good you are, like, you just gotta be connected. And I was just being confident that I've passed, so what can stand in my way, you know? And the other thing is, I hadn't yet gotten any responses from abroad where I was applying to the UK, to Australia, to America, to Russia. So I think there's the other reason why it really got to me. So I started emailing them back asking, like, what do you mean I didn't get a place? Explain to me I passed. My confident self was caught unawares, guys. I was turned down in my own country. So yeah, Russia eventually responds, and I eventually left Zimbabwe on the 5th of October. And I had an aunt of mine, luckily, who was also traveling from Zimbabwe to the UK. So we were together to Dubai, and that's where we separated. So I wasn't feeling scared or lonely because I had her company and I knew I was in safe hands, you know, like nothing could happen to me. And by the time I got to Russia, I had other students with me who were also coming from Zimbabwe, yeah, and they were going to other cities. So I had made friends, and I was talking to this girl called Tanya, very lovely girl. And then she was going to Astrakhan. She had other people she was going with, and I was the only one coming to Tambov, guys. The rest of the students I was with were in numbers. Like maybe 5 were going to Astrakhan City, 10 were going to Volgograd, 3 were going to Nizhny, you know, and all these other different cities. And I was the only one coming to Tambov. So these people got told, you people will leave by bus at 7 p.m. You people will leave by train at 8. You guys will fly to Astrakhan at 6 p.m. We arrived in Russia at around 2 p.m. I remember it was in the afternoon, and it was actually chilly. Yeah, it was chilly, and this is just October. Yeah. And you know, October in Zimbabwe is super hot. So yeah, I could tell, like, yeah, it's a change of weather already. So the representative who received me in Moscow, who welcomed me in Moscow, boarded a train for me for 10 p.m. And I was to travel 10 hours and arrive in Tambov in the morning, like around 8 a.m. He didn't get me the faster trains or an earlier train, because then I would arrive around 2 a.m. and where would I go? Like, it'll just be inconvenient even for the person who would be receiving me there in Tambov. So we just took the 10-hour train so that I arrive around 8 a.m. and I'm received well and stuff like that. So I remember him telling me, you can relax, you'll be fine. Like, yours is the last stop, so you can sleep, you will not miss your stop or anything. But every time I felt the train slowing down a bit, I would peep out of my cabin so that the person in charge of my cabin would see me and reassure me that, no, we're not yet at your stop, I will tell you when we are. You know, that kind of thing. Like, I was totally alone, guys. Like, I just had to make sure so that I don't pass my stop or oversleep or something like that. So yeah, I travel my 10 hours to Tambov, and I finally get there. And I was welcomed by Andre, another representative from Tambov State University. Very handsome and, you know, welcoming. He's really friendly, and yeah, he's good with people. Like, he was just the right person to welcome students. So we get there and he greets me. We get into his car. He's like, all right, so show me your documents. And I'm there feeling like, why is he bothering me about documents right now? Can't we do this like maybe 2 days after? He wanted stuff right there. So I'm handing over some documents to him, and he's checking my passport, he's checking my visa. Then he asks me, where is your immigration card? And I said, what's that? He's like, it's a slip that you were given at the airport. And I said, well, those are all my documents right there, so it should be there. We check again and we realize, the immigration slip is not there. So he tells me, you will have to go back to Moscow and get it. And I'm thinking, why am I being bothered for a simple paper? I really just want to rest. Now look, I had traveled like maybe what, 8 hours to Dubai and then spent a few more hours there in Dubai, then traveled 5 hours to Moscow, spent more hours in Moscow, then traveled 10 hours to Tambov, and you're telling me I have to go back to Moscow? Like, come on. So I'm like, okay. And he said one of his other colleagues were actually traveling to Moscow in 3 hours. So I could actually join her and then go get my sleep, then come back and we start from there. So this other colleague was actually going to receive some other students from India and Morocco. I'm like, what? Tired as I am, so I have to travel back? And there was nothing I could do. So he drives me to my hostel. He's like, all right, just settle in, leave your stuff, change clothes, like bath and all that, and get ready, and then come back to the main campus. I'll show you along the way as we drive. That's where you're gonna come, and then you guys will board a bus and go. So it's like, all right. So I'm still new. I haven't changed my dollars into Russian rubles. I haven't even connected to any type of Wi-Fi. I haven't bought a SIM card. I can't communicate with my parents to say, I've arrived well. And I know they're anxious. How is she? Has she arrived well? Has she met her people? Has she settled in properly? I'm just like, all right, we're gonna deal with this when we're back. Just do what you gotta do now. Besides, you did this, right? You did this. You lost the sleep. So let me tell you what could have happened with this immigration slip. Back then, I had a tendency of folding papers. Even a dollar bill, I could just be folding it till it's something very small. And then I throw it away like I'm shooting into... I don't know why I used to do that. But from that moment, I learned a lesson. And till now, even when I buy stuff in a shop or something, I keep the receipt. And then when I get home, I check everything of mine. Then I throw away what I don't need. Like, it really taught me a good lesson. Because now I had lost my immigration slip, a very important document, you see. And I hate to admit that maybe that is what I actually did. I probably folded it and threw it somewhere. But also there is a possibility that when I was showing the train attendant for my cabin, like when I was showing her my documents, it could have slipped out and fell, because I don't think I could have boarded the train without it. Or maybe they just checked the passport and the document. I don't know, but it's probably my folding techniques that had me in this position. So I was taken to hostel, and I was going to be staying with two girls. They were from Congo, and we could only communicate in Russian because I don't speak French and they didn't speak English. I was like, okay, there's going to be a lot of translation going on. So I eventually go back to the main campus 3 hours later, trying to look energetic and not sleepy. And then Andre introduces me to, I think her name was Sophia. Very hospitable as well. She was a very friendly person, and I was placed in a custody. So she was told, oh, she has to get her immigration slip, so just go with her as you're getting the Moroccan and Indian students from the airport. Just get her to sort her things out, then you come back together. She's like, all right. Oh, she was so sweet, guys. She took care of me, and on the way, by bus, the journey to Moscow was actually 6 hours, not the 10 hours I had spent by train. Yeah, I slept all the way. I just wanted to sleep, and luckily it was a comfortable coach. and it was just Sophia, myself, and a driver and his assistant. So I chose the most comfortable place and just shut the curtains and slept. And Sophia would keep coming to me, like whenever the bus stopped for recess or something, and she'd be like, "You don't want anything?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm fine." But anyway, she kept buying me food and doing, she understood, like, this child, tired and hungry, obviously. And I didn't have any Russian rubles with me, I just had dollars. So she kept feeding me, she kept coming to check on me, like, "Are you okay? Is everything fine?" I'd be like, "All right, yeah, yeah." So we got to Moscow in the evening now, probably around 7 p.m. We'd left Tambov in the afternoon, somewhere there. And we went to the offices where they give the immigration slips, and they're like, "Okay, you guys are gonna have to wait till tomorrow morning around 8." Now the Moroccan students had arrived, and then we waited for the Indian students to arrive around 10, 11. Now these are all tired students and they just want to get to Tambov and rest, okay? And then they're told, our bus can only leave after 8 a.m. Just because of Tino, who lost her immigration slip. But anyway, it had to be done. So we waited, and then, okay, I eventually get my immigration slip, and we got onto the bus and started traveling. So it was after some kilometers that some Indian girl came to where I was seated on my seat. Yeah, and I was still comfortable and dozing off time and again and sleeping. And then she comes to me, she's like, "Hi, how are you?" I'm like, "I'm all right, how are you?" She's like, "So please tell us, when are we going to begin classes? And the medical tests that we have to do, how long do they take? And are the hostels nice?" And I'm like, "I don't know too." That's when it hit me. They had seen me, all these students now, they had seen me with Sophia, yeah, and the drivers. Like, we looked like we were colleagues, you know. They found me with the agent, so they thought I was part of the agent team. So they're like, "Oh, so maybe we can ask her for information." I'm just like, doesn't my face look as curious as yours too? Like, don't I look even tired? Like, I've just had a misfortunate event. I've had to travel back. I'm just as new as you guys. Like, so it's like, no. And her name was Shweta. Very sweet. Yeah, and we even became friends after that. We happened to be in the same hostel, and she would come check on me, and she would cook this Indian food. I think it was called biryani. It was nice, and she'd always serve me, and I'd be like, "Thank you." So I'll probably put a pic here with Shweta. Yeah, she was a sweet girl. And Shweta, I remember you. And if you ever come through this, I appreciate you, girl. So that's when I realized that all those times at the airport when these students were inviting me to their selfies, it was because they thought I was an agent as well. They thought they were probably sending to their families and saying, "See, our agent's here to receive us." All right, it's okay. Anyway, moving right along, something that I found interesting and shocking in Russia is the fact that even grown people, you call them by their names, you know, like there is no Mrs. Maybe Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Simpsons, you know, no, it's Sandra Smith or Carol Simpsons. Even your lecturers, you call them by their names like that. I used to be shocked, like hearing my classmates go like, "Excuse me, Olga Sergeyevna, you said our homework is going to be from this part to this part." And I'll be like, "Wait, so you just called her by her name? Do you see how grown this lady is?" And I remember for a long time, I tried to find ways of saying maybe Mrs. Sergeyevna. I just couldn't bring myself about it. Like, how am I going to say Olga Sergeyevna to a grown woman? And they even use terms like girl or woman, you know, just like that. Like even in a shop, when you want assistance, right? You're gonna say, hi girl, please come help me here, or hi woman, come help me here. The word is actually devushka. Like they go like, devushka, please help me here. So where are the cereals? Where's the rice? Something like that. It's not, in Africa, like a grown woman, they just mother to you. In a shop, you probably say, in fact, in Africa, in a shop, we just say, mother, where is the rice? Where is this? But then here, it's woman or girl. Where is, to them, it's not disrespectful. It doesn't even sound disrespectful when you get used to it. It's just normal like that. So yeah, like I couldn't picture myself calling my Zimbabwean teachers like maybe Juliana Gumbo, you gave us homework on this topic and I didn't quite understand. You can never do that. They need their respect. It's Mrs. Gumbo to you. But yeah, it goes like that here. And I just had to accept it, like, all right, no matter how disrespectful it sounds, this is how it goes. It can never be like Pavel, and it can never be Mr. Andreev. It's gonna be Pavel Andreev. So yeah. And sometimes I feel like these youngsters, they actually backtalk their elders too much. Now I know sometimes when you write, you can actually tell, like, you can stand up for yourself. These young ones can backtalk elders. Hey. Sometimes I'm looking at my classmates like, you talking back at the teacher like this. Like, whew. Like the teacher is simply telling you that your work is not up to standard, and you're explaining that this topic was tough on you and you did well in a test from last week. So now come on. What is the respect? Like, yeah, but anyway, it's like that, here they got that freedom, in Europe, and the whole freedom thing, and so that's just how it goes. More often than not, I'm actually dumbstruck, like, hey, just be quiet, let the teacher talk. Like, you're not even giving the teacher some time to speak here. But yeah. And then my next point, electricity and water. It's in abundance here. If you're from Zimbabwe, you're gonna understand why I had to bring this point up. Guys, like, I've never had a power cut ever since I came to Russia, and I've been here for years. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people in Africa cannot relate. And whenever I miss home, I'm like, but I have electricity here though. I even have an aunt of mine who was asking me, so Tino, you want to go back to Zimbabwe? You want to go to Zimbabwe for the holidays? I was like, yes, I would love to. And she's like, but there will not be electricity more often. And I'm like, you know what? That's another thing as well. And I really appreciate it. And I remember I had a landlord who, whenever there's a certain period where they switch off the hot water. I'm not sure what they'll be trying to fix, like when the weather changes and all that. So there's a time when they switch off the hot water. And I remember a landlord that I used to have, he would call me, so Tino, the hot water has been switched off in your area. Don't worry, okay? It'll be back in 4 hours. And he would sound so worried and concerned for me. I'm like, sir, is it just hot water that has been switched off? So you mean the cold water is there? Cold water is there. So if I need hot water, I can boil the cold water, right? Like, do you know where I come from? Like, of course I would say this to myself, like, does he even know where I come from? Like, that, even the cold water that is still running here, it won't even be there. and for days, and there's no explanation, there's no apology. And you think I could be disturbed that the hot water has been switched off? Come on now. Like, I found it hilarious, and they took it, and they actually take it serious here. Like, oh my goodness, they switched off the hot water, or maybe, okay, I've never seen the electricity being shut off, being switched off, unless maybe there's a technical thing that's happening. Otherwise, they always have electricity, they always have water. So, guys, when hot water is switched off for a few hours, they take it like a violation of their rights. Yeah. My landlord even had to explain to me, like, it's going to be switched on, yeah, don't worry. And he didn't know where I came from. And all right, to my next point. As a student in Russia, I've come across lecturers who struggled to read my name. Yeah. So they'd be there and they're trying. I'll just be like, take it slowly. Tino Piwanashe. Just like that. It's not that difficult. I can pronounce y'all's names. And so my name, my classmates told me that my name is actually quite funny when you put it in Russian, because the T means you, and then, okay, there is a part where okay, in my name, in the Russian way, there is a part where there is piva, and piva actually is beer here in Russia. So when you mix my name up a little bit, when you mix the letters and all that, Tina Piva Nashe, it means something like you have our beer, or you are our beer. I've forgotten what my classmates were saying, something like that. So I now understood why sometimes some of the young lecturers, like, they would, when they're marking the register, yeah, and they come across my name, they would look at it and be like, Tina Pivanashe, Tina Pivanashe, Piva. Like the Piva part, the beer part, yeah. So, oh well, it's just funny. But yeah, sometimes you actually find the lecturers who are that, they're just ready to mingle with you. They are flexible, they are relaxed. My next point is the exam format here and expulsion. So in Africa, in Zimbabwe, all right, in Zimbabwe, for exams here, you guys, you sit in a hall, you write, your papers are taken, they go for marking, and then you hear your results maybe after a few weeks, after a week or something like that. Yeah. Here, you have one exam, right? One exam. You're going to have it orally and in written form. Now, I'm going to say this. There is an advantage on if you're an orator, if you're good in speech, yeah, you can get your marks properly, because now you're getting the platform to actually talk, you see, to discuss your answer, you know. And then if you're bad at writing, if your handwriting is bad, and maybe the professor was going to struggle to read your work, you have a chance now to actually say out what you're trying to write. So that's the advantage. Your points still get heard, you see, and then you get your marks. Now, the disadvantage, if you got into the exam with a gadget or a piece of paper and you copied, here comes the part where you have to speak, and you can't speak, and you can't, like, you can't say what you've written on the paper, and now they see that you copied. That's the disadvantage. But otherwise, yeah, I found it stressful. Like, why do I have to be examined twice? Like, just let me write, you take my paper and give me the results later. But then later on, I actually liked this routine, you know, because you go for the exam, and by the time you leave, you already have your mark. Like, it's srazu, the Russian words are coming. It's quick, it's right there, you get your marks right there. Like, there's no wasting time. By the time you get home, you already know today I passed, you move on to the next. But also, that is stressful because then when you fail, then a few days after, you still got another exam and you're thinking, am I going to fail this one as well? So that's when the Zimbabwean format is actually better, because now your papers are gone. You just wait for your results once. And then now for the expulsion part. Guys, now I'm comparing with Zimbabwe here, and I'm thinking it's the same with other African countries. Here, we write exams this month, right? And then your retakes are already next month. Or I shouldn't even say next month. Your retakes are already like 2 weeks down the line. So you failed today. Don't even put that subject away. Work on it, because your retakes are coming in a few weeks. It's not like in Zimbabwe where you failed, you proceed with your course, and maybe you carry the subject and then you write it later as you go. No. So here, if you fail that retake in a few weeks, they give you another one the following week. If you fail 3 times, it's done for you. You're going to the commission, and then the commission decides like, okay, you failed, you're going home, you're getting expelled. The expulsion doesn't take time, guys. Like, it happens so fast. It's not the pressure. Please salute these people who are studying abroad. Because guys, there is no break. You fail, you gotta work. You gotta work on it and pass, because expulsion is very near if you play. But I feel like it's also a good thing, because you get to work on that subject whilst you still remember what's going on. Yeah. So it's like that. And then the other point I want to bring up is, if you're used to being an A student, like I was used to, when you come here, get ready to be ranging among at the bottom of the class. And this is because of the language barrier. If you will be studying in English, then you're good to go. You can still be in the top 5s and all. But if you'll be studying in Russian, forget. Guys, it's not easy to accept. Like, I had to go through a stressful time. Like, oh my goodness. So I'm really like ranging at the bottom of the class right now. I'm no longer a top 3 student. Because now you can't be competing with people who are hearing and understanding information at first take, because you have to read something 3 times, translated in your language. You have to read it 3 times to understand it, yeah. And then to understand it in Russian, and then get it into your head and know it in Russian. Like, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And I'm studying law in Russian. It's a lot of work, I won't lie to you. And to just be competing with people who are understanding right there and there, by the time you're understanding the first topic, they're already on the 3rd topic, and they're moving. So you just have to accept that, okay, I can't move at their pace, but I'm gonna go at this rate, slowly but surely grasping like what is being taught. All right, you will just have to accept it. The language, the Russian language, will humble you. I'm not going to lie. If you'll be studying in English, then you're good to go. Like, you won't have to worry about anything. So, but for some of us who are studying in Russian, yeah, we've been going through it. We've been going through a lot. So sometimes, like, when I would fail to complete an answer, like, I know what the professor was asking me, and I know what I had to answer here, but I'm still translating in my head, like, okay, the word that I gotta put here is, and till I just give in, like, you know what, I will answer in the next class. And in my head, I'll just address this professor like, do you know I'm brighter than this? I'm brighter than your brightest student in this class, but I just can't prove it right now. And the good thing is sometimes these professors, they do understand that, yeah, you're working, but you just can't put it out there quickly. Yeah, so they give you the time. But no matter how much I would be addressing these professors in my head, like, do you know I'm better than this? I'm actually not dumb. I'm actually a smart student. In the end, I'll just tell myself, you couldn't answer, sis. You just couldn't answer. Like, sometimes you're just trying to remember the Russian term, just to put it out there, and it just vanishes. And it's like that. You just have to accept it. Ah, it's tough, I tell you. It's really tough. Um, so you just have to work at your normal speed. Like, don't give up. Just go at your normal speed, and it pays. In the end, it does pay. Um, and I'll tell you that the stress will be massive. It'll be massive because it's just tough seeing other people like, oh, they're on stage 7 and I'm on stage 2 right now, and I'm trying to catch up, but I gotta move it 30 kilometers per hour. They're going at 120, and yeah, something like that. And especially if you're studying law or these subjects that require a lot of reading, like it's different from mathematics. Like, the formulas are the same all around the world. But now with these subjects where you gotta study, like maybe economics and law, it's really tough and the stress will be massive. But you'll pull through. In fact, I'm pulling through too. Like, see how far I've come. And I don't know how many times I whispered to myself, it's okay, babe. You're doing all right, babe. Probably like 30 times a day. Like, it's okay, babe. It's okay. Like, that just keeps me going. And let me quickly comment on the weather. Russia is cold. As you can see here, it's like minus 22, minus 23. That's like in winter around January. And it can even get worse than that, like even minus 30. I hear that years before we came here, it even used to reach minus 40. Like, this country really gets cold. And we have winter like for 6 months there. And then the shocking part is this country also gets hot. Like, I don't know how it can be so extreme both ways, like too cold and too hot. So, yeah, Russia gets super hot and super cold. Like, as you can see on the next picture, that's summer and it's like 32 degrees. That's already like Africa. So, yeah, that's something that I actually found shocking when I came here. I thought it was just going to be cold and cool weather, but oh well. And then another thing that I wanted to compare and show you guys is the schools here. Most schools for the children, like the junior schools, they don't even have playgrounds. And they're just like in the middle of the city. And I wonder, like, where do these kids get to play? Like, see here, this is a picture. I'm going to show you two pictures of two schools that I see on my way to the university. And you can see that there is no playground at all. And I wonder, do these kids just go to school and play indoors? Like, that's sad. They should have time to mingle outside, or maybe they have indoor courts, but I've never really understood that. There are a few schools, though, that actually have playgrounds, like a whole huge playground outside, but yeah, it's like that. And my next point is going to be the security in Russia. Now, Russia is safe. Now, I'm not saying, of course, you won't find bad things happening to you, but the security here, I'm impressed. Like, you can walk around 2 a.m. doing whatever you're doing on your phone, and nobody will snatch it from you. And You get home safely. Nobody's gonna harass you. Everybody, Russia is actually quite safe. I'll tell you this. And the other thing is, Europe, it's really cameras everywhere. So you can't be doing any silly stuff. You get caught. So these people they just can't be attacking you out of nowhere. So you're safe. Now I'm not saying I'm always out around 2 a.m. In case this video comes across my parents, I'm just saying. But yeah, that's another point. So if you're coming to Russia, just know that, yeah, you got security. Even on your online stuff, like a lot of people know that there's a whole lot of security. They don't just let people into your business or investigate you and stuff like that. Yeah, the security is just... So I'll also discuss the internet. Now, internet here is top notch and it's cheap. I think Russia actually has the best internet, and I've heard quite a lot of people saying that. I don't know about other countries because I haven't been there, but here it's cheap and it's efficient. Like, guys, I pay peanuts for internet every month, but I will stream movies, I will stream a series. I don't have to download it and watch it like from my laptop. I will stream and watch it online. No jams, no, guys, no buffering. It just flows. Like, it's that good. It's really a good place internet wise. Like, and if you're somebody who's doing a lot online, there is no hindrance at all. Like, you know, you're good to go. And that's really a good thing, considering the world we're living in. Internet has to be there for everybody and it has to be efficient. Moving right along, my next point is public display of affection. Right. Now, I know in Zimbabwe, at private schools like Loma Gandhi, it's there. I don't know, people who studied at Loma Gandhi, you can confirm, right? I remember when we used to have inter-schools athletics competitions. At Loma Gandhi, you would see couples, these students at the fields, at the benches, smooching. It looked allowed. It looked legal. So you guys confirm, was it legal? Or maybe there were no strict rules about it. They just like, if you love each other, you people can smooch. But yeah, and there are quite a few private places where you see public display of affection, you know, those private places. So in Zimbabwe, it's not there. Okay, it's there, but it's not there. It's there. So when I came here now and I saw that, yeah, it's actually just like in the movies. It's there 100 times. Like, I thought, whew. Like, even on the bus, guys, even on the corridor, you see all these people smooching. In the park, you're walking, you just mind your own business. Oh, they're already kissing. Oh, they're already doing this. Oh, they're already doing this. I had to adapt. And maybe at one point I actually joined them. But yeah, I mean, guys, what can you do? Public display of affection, if it's allowed. Do what the Romans are doing in Rome. There is no peace. And the elders ignore it. And the other thing is, even kids that you see with your own eyes, that these are kids, these are 15-year-olds, and they're kissing on a bus, the elders just ignore it. Now, come on. You can totally tell kids, like, stop doing this. I remember my first days, I'll be like, all these people kissing, can't they just wait to get off the bus and get a room? But now I don't even see it. Like, it's normal. I just be like, oh, like, I don't even see it now. Like, I'm so used to it already. The African in me was usually like, hey, like, it would just be in my head, and I'd be like, hey, can't y'all just wait to get off the bus and get a room or something? Now, I know our African parents could never let it slide. Teenagers kissing there, nah, it could never happen like that. And If my parents knew, I mean, even 20-year-olds in Africa, they can't be smooching anyway. Even grown-ups, like, they can't. I mean, our parents even think that at weddings we're receiving our first kisses. I mean, why do I feel I'm gonna regret saying this? Again, if my parents come across this video, I'm just saying. But I mean, all right. I appreciate that about Africa. I feel like some other things are just better left private. Like, do these things privately. But then at the same time, I would also support this public display of affection, because why I gotta restrict myself, to show somebody that I love them and I'm feeding them? What if this is my last time seeing them, and maybe we're at an airport and I'm saying bye? I gotta show them that I care, right? So yeah, something like that. I don't have to restrain myself from showing my love that I'm feeling them. I hope I don't regret saying this. So another point relating to this is Russians mind their own business. And I love this about them. Of course, not on the aspect of leaving kids kissing each other, but they mind their own business. And this is something I really appreciate. We could learn from them. You can do your own thing and nobody would disturb you. I mean, how do I emphasize this? These people can mind their business, guys. Of course, leave for the old folks. Like, the grandmothers, they can really stay and be concerned. What are you doing over there in the park? Hey, they can look, they can stare. But I think they don't mean to offend. I mean, I think the older people get, the more curious they get. So they just be trying to see, like, who are you? What are you doing there? And that kind of thing. So the old folks, yeah, they can really look concerned, like they can't mind their own business, but oh well. The greater population of these Russians, I'm telling you, they mind their own business. You can be up to whatever you're doing in a public place and they just continue on their way. Like, all right, here's a story that will actually explain this better. So one time I lost a shoe. I was out chilling somewhere and I had to return to my place with one shoe. Yeah, please don't ask me to explain how this happened. So the taxi driver who picked me up, he saw that I was walking with one shoe. He didn't ask. He picked me up. I paid for the cab. He went off, dropped me off, and then he went off. The security at my place also saw that I was on one shoe, didn't say anything, let me pass. Guys, these people can mind their own business. Now, if it was in my dear motherland, Sandra there would have already asked you, Tino, you're on one shoe. What happened? Were you involved in a fight somewhere? Huh? Did you get lost on an island somewhere? What's wrong? And I feel like them minding their own business actually saves you from a lot of embarrassment. Because now, I don't have to explain anything to you. Just leave me. Whatever you're thinking, that's it. I don't care. I don't want to explain myself as well. Because now, asking me about it, you're making me feel even more awkward. Like, can't you see that I'm ashamed? I'm already ashamed already. I just love how they mind their own business, because I don't like explaining stuff. Like, just leave me. Things are looking the way they're looking because of that. Just leave me. So yeah, of course that wouldn't happen if we were like in Zimbabwe. Like, a tree should just be there trying to ask you, like, what's up? Why are you doing this? Like, auntie, leave me alone. I feel like we can mind our own business just like Russians do. Yeah, stop asking people unnecessary things. Like, these people, guys, if something is not directly affecting them, They won't pester you about it. They're not coming to you to ask you about it. No. It's none of their business. It's your business. Do your thing. They stay in their own lane. I mean, if you don't initiate it, like if you don't start explaining something on why it's the way it is, they will not bother you at all. They won't pay mind. Of course, they'll see that, oh, this is happening, but they won't pester you about it. And all right, if they see maybe that your purse is open in public, of course they can tell you like, hey, watch out, your purse is open, you might drop things, yeah. And of course, if you're gonna be making noise, maybe in an apartment and they've got kids, you can't tell them to mind their own business. They gotta come to you and tell you, hey, we've got kids who are sleeping and that kind of thing. But I'm just saying, the greater part, they mind their own business, like truly, truly. But there are times when minding their own business is actually too extreme, guys. Like, I remember this time, there was a girl I was talking to, and she's like, Tino, the way these people mind their business. I fell. My wig there. Me there. And these people just continued in their way. They kept passing. Nobody stopped to help me. Guys, I'm just like, the Russians, why are you like that? Don't mind your business to that extent. You know, guys, in winter, the snow really gets slippery sometimes. Like, the paths are really dangerous to move on, and it's a pain if you fall. So this girl happens to be wearing her wig and she fell, and the Russians would just continue on their own business. They're like, oh, she fell. Oh, you fell. They're just on their own business like that. So, yeah. I laughed so hard because since then she has never worn a wig again. Now she does her hair, which is beautiful because braids actually suit her. But Russians, that day, I was just like, why though? Why? But I also laughed so hard because I told her, like, you know what, you scared them. Because now they were wondering, Auntie, how is your hair there now and your body is there? You know, this week mentality, they haven't really captured it like how we do it. Like, sometimes when I change hairstyles often in class, my classmates are like, oh, Tina, so how did you do this? And I'm just like, my real hair is underneath. I just have something on top right now. And they're like, oh, okay. So, yeah, they must have been shocked, like, you know, how is this happening? How is your hair there now? But them continuing on the way actually might have come out as hostile, yeah. Like, that was just too extreme. Like, why not lend a hand? Like, hey, you need help to get up. But to some extent, it's a good thing because there are times when getting sorries from people actually makes me feel more ashamed. So I think if people just ignore me and act like they don't see it, I'm gonna put myself together and move along. You know, like, don't give me your sorries because now you're gonna make things more awkward. You're gonna make me feel even worse. So yeah, that's a good thing. Like, you know what? That's just how much they mind their own business, guys. And as someone who likes my space that much, I love that about them because sometimes I just don't feel like socializing. So I get into class and I'm just sitting there, I'm just ready for the class, and they just leave you like, okay, yeah. And nobody touches anybody's stuff. Like, if you're gonna leave your bag there, your lunch there, or anything, nobody touches your stuff. Like, even if you forget maybe an umbrella, they'll be texting you, Tina, are you the one who left your umbrella by the table? Okay, it's still there. And yeah, they don't meddle with your stuff. You find your things as you left them, and that's really nice. I remember one time on a bus, my phone slid from my pocket onto the seat, and I didn't realize until I had stepped off. So I'm like, where's my phone? So I had to wait on the other side of the road for this bus on its return journey. So I jumped onto the bus, And then I asked the driver, hey, did anybody leave my phone? He's like, no. So I ran back to the back seat to where I had been sitting, and I found it there. Like, wow. So all these people that he picked along the way and all those who dropped off, and they just left my phone there. Did they mind their own business to the extent that nobody picked it up and gave it to the driver? Like, I was just like, really? So y'all couldn't even take it to the driver at least? But I think maybe nobody had actually seen it to actually take it to the driver. But yeah, you do find your stuff here. Like, you never really lose anything. I mean, there are cameras everywhere anyway, so they don't just meddle with anybody's stuff. And it's a good thing. When you grow up with such an environment, you get to respect people's stuff, and it's good. And also there could be an argument maybe between a cashier and a customer. The other people in line, they will not interfere. They'll just be quiet. Like sometimes you can tell that maybe the cashier is right here, but nobody's gonna stand in and support the cashier. It's between them. If it's not affecting them directly, trust me, they are not pitching in. Like, leave them. They mind their own business. And they are honest. Okay, Russians, they don't beat about the bush. They don't care how you're gonna take something, some information. They tell it as it is. They don't find a sweeter way to put things in. They don't. Like, I've heard the most brutal things being told to people by Russians. To them, that's normal. Like, why beat about the bush? They just tell you as it is. But yeah, they don't care how you receive it, but they tell you as it is. No, I can't help you today. I'm busy doing this. Like, it's just that. It's just that. I am also going to discuss their maintenance of traditions and how they observe them and how they observe their heroes. I mean, they have statues and sculptures everywhere, like in their parks. So these little kids grow up knowing that, oh, this is Pushkin, a great writer. This is Lenin. This is Stalin. You know, like they have all their hero statues everywhere, and I think we should do that as well, and just, you know, uphold our history, you know, proudly. I mean, we shouldn't even have maybe. I remember in South Africa sometime they were protesting against some Cecil Rhodes statue. I mean, we should have the South African statues in South Africa. I mean, South African heroes in South Africa, and the politics in me. Anyway, something like that. All I'm just trying to say is we should celebrate our history and traditions, you know, nicely. They do that perfectly here, and they observe all the holidays, you know, proudly. Yeah. Now, my next point, Russian food. Now, when it comes to food, I'm going to say you will adapt. But home is best, I'll be quick to say. Now, Russian food is mild. It's mild in a manner, it's mild that goes close to tastelessness, yeah. But it's actually good. It tastes healthy, and it's a diet that I've actually grown to like. But if you're somebody who likes the hot, spicy food, like I've seen a lot of my friends from Ghana and Nigeria, they struggle with the Russian food because they've gotten used to the hot and spicy food. And now, because of these Ghanaian and Nigerian friends of mine, I also like hot, spicy food now, which is not bad. But yeah, the Russian food is actually mild. Like, it's hardly ever spicy or hot, I'm telling you. And yeah, you will adapt. Now, another point. These people have time for their kids, guys. Like, anybody who's been to Russia can confirm. The grandmothers, they have time for, okay, grandmothers everywhere have time for their grandkids. Like, we all know this. But now the mothers and dads, they have time to stroll with these kids in parks, to play with them. I remember sitting in a park sometime at an apartment I used to stay at, and the dad was always stepping out and going onto the lawn to play squash with the son. And then the son would be like, can we rest for 20 minutes? And yes, they would sit down and the dad would smoke there, and then the child would just be playing a bit. And then they're up again, they're back at it. And now you will even see a mother and a toddler there walking in the park, and the toddler is just playing with sand. And the mother is patiently waiting for the child to be done. And they could be home preparing dinner, but no, she gives the child that time. Like, let the child do what he wants there, all that time. And she'll be asking, we go home now? And the toddler is just there, And they're like, okay. So, yeah, they really have time for their kids. And not that they grow up spoiled or anything, no. They grow up with that connection with their parents. The parents have time for them. It's not our usual, go play with your friends. Go to whose place? Play there. Hey, stop, play with your toys. They like, no, the mother is there. The dad is involved. They even push prams, guys, or prammers. I don't know, those baby strollers. Like, guys, it's sweet, honestly. And then now, I know some of you have been waiting for this one, the racism part. So, I'm gonna say this. In Russia, racism is really mild. Like, you don't see it like that. Personally, I haven't seen it in my face. I actually get to see racist things online from America, Germany, France. Here in Russia, I've never seen it in my face. And my friends say, Tino, it's there, you're just not looking for it. And I'm like, so don't look for it. But honestly, like, guys, here you can live peacefully. Like, you can go to restaurants, dine with them. You can go to clubs for those who party, and they party with them. The thing is, Russians, they are a stiff nation. How do I say this? They're a serious nation. They are uptight. I can't find the right word, but you get what I'm saying, yeah? They don't just relax around you. They have to know you maybe from class or from a photo shoot or from somewhere you've worked together, or spent maybe a day together. No, they don't just relax around you. So that's how maybe people find them hostile. But no, they're just like that, naturally. They don't just relax around you. But that don't mean they're racist. They're not hostile. They just, like I say, they mind their own business. They're not in your space. And of course, here and there, you will find, maybe you will hear that a racist comment has been passed. But to be honest, it's mild here. It's really mild. And like, I'm not totally dismissing it. Like, my experience doesn't have to be your experience, and your experience doesn't have to be my experience. Maybe somebody has experienced it and they might feel offended that how can you say it's not there? But I'm just saying, really, it's really mild here, to be honest. Like, you can live peacefully here in Russia, and yeah. They're just a serious people. They're not just social. Like, they have to know you for them to actually relax and laugh with you and stuff like that. So what you hear when you're back in Zimbabwe or in Africa, it's way exaggerated. Like, they are way past those years that we hear about. Like, they've become more relaxed. In small cities, yes, that's where you find that most people are looking at you like, oh, she's black, oh, okay. But in Moscow, they're used to the blacks now. They don't even see you pass. You're just a normal human being, and that's it. Nothing, like, how do I even express this? Like, what you hear when you're back home is actually exaggerated. These people are actually more relaxed, and they've become, and I think the FIFA World Cup actually helped things as well. They became more open, like, oh, a lot of people can actually be here. A lot of people from different, of this chocolate skin. They're just kind of stiff, but they stay out of your way. Yeah, they don't disturb you like that. I think racism is all over Europe. in Asia there, in America there, you know, it's everywhere. But I'll tell you this, here in Russia, it's really mild. So don't listen to that exaggeration on the racism part. Like, I'll tell you, I've been here for many years and take it from me. Of course, the stares will be there sometimes, like maybe on a bus and you just see somebody staring at you so much. But it's okay, let them stare. They probably haven't seen such beauty from all the time when they were growing up. Yeah, so just allow them a bit. Now, my most hilarious encounter. Now, this is the one that I remember vividly, and probably the one that I can actually share here because it's audience friendly and it's not any type of explicit. So, one time, I think it was 2019. I remember I tweeted about it, so I'm just gonna put the tweets here because I think it was funnier how I tweeted it, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna say it in the same funny way. So I got onto a bus whose driver had offended another bus driver. I think he had switched lanes without indicating and probably almost caused an accident and something like that. So the other driver was really mad, like, hey, you're driving terribly, like, you know what, this is hazardous, like something like that. So I got onto the bus and I had my headsets. So I get onto this bus and I didn't know that this had happened. But somehow I noticed that something is going on. This driver keeps swerving and swerving in a manner that's not understandable. So I removed one of my headsets. You know, Africans, even back home, we sometimes remove our headsets so we can tell if the meat is burning in the kitchen. So don't blame me. So I removed my headset and I thought, because I could see that something was happening. Like, this driver keeps swerving in a manner that's not understandable. So then I realized, like, yeah, something is going on with the other driver, with the other bus there. Something is happening. These people, I don't know. So I eventually moved both headsets, and the bus was going so fast. Then we stopped at the next stop here. And now the driver from the other bus jumps onto our bus and starts shouting at my driver. So what I could pick from this is my driver had probably switched lanes or something like that. Something like that had happened. This misunderstanding had been going on, I think, for like 2 stops before I jumped onto this bus. So now I'm like, all right. And did my driver not speed off? Guys, we have another bus driver on our bus. Now he's leaving his own people in the bus. Like, why was my driver petty? Like, why was he dramatic like that? And what I liked about this, no punches were exchanged. He was just shouting, and this one was also replying and driving off. I think he was even shocked, like, this guy is insane. So did he just drive off with me? Like, it was a wrong move. Why did he step onto our bus during such a hot argument? Like, so now, the way he had to jog back to his bus. And the most awkward part about this now is nobody laughed. You see what I was telling you, that Russians, they are a serious nation. Nobody laughed. And I'm there thinking, what? How can you people not be laughing to this? Like, I wished I was around my African community because the way we're going to laugh at this, guys. Like, and this was way before the mask regime thing, and I was there just grinning, trying not to burst in laughter because it was insane, guys. It was insane. How would you drive off with people's driver like that? Now, the people in the other bus were just looking like, our driver has gone. And their door was closed. You know what? It was such an experience, which, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. And I promise this is the only video that's going to be this long. And if you watch till this end, Thank you so much. And subscribe, share, like, and leave your comments down below. And tell me if I've helped you in any way, if you have related to anything that I've said. And yeah, see you in my next video. I'll have an introduction video so that you get to know who I am. Yeah, and many other entertaining videos are coming up. So yeah, thank you.